Okay, I thought it was an interesting intro. You don't get snow around here, but when you do, it looks pretty nice. So there we go. He's got a Metagross in my face, and Earthquake and Meteor Match is always a fearsome combo, so getting a Scarf on that would be uber nice for me, because that means that I only have to deal with one of those moves at a time, and I can do that no problem. So I get my Stealth Rock up, as he has to switch out, because he obviously set up his Stealth Rock. I'm going to trick again, just to get leftovers off that Blissey, because a Blissey without leftovers it has to heal itself every now and then because it can't just sit on its leftovers because I've pinched them. So Lucario comes out, and because Stealth Rock's up, I wasn't really worried about breaking a Sash with the Seismic Toss because it's not going to get a Sash because the Stealth Rock's out. So in comes Lucario, threatening the close combat, which of course I am going to give a close combat to whatever one comes in. And in comes the Arcanine with the Intimidate, which kind of sucks because I really wish that was Flash Fire because I could probably kill it from here, but it's not going to happen because of the Intimidate. I've got a Dragonite, of course, to cover my weaknesses, and Flare Blitz is not going to be doing much damage to me, and I'm thinking about what I can do to it. And if it's slower than me, I wasn't quite sure if Lucario was slower than it or not, so I'd like to get it T-Wave just to make sure that it is slower. But in comes Suicune, and that gets T-Waved, which isn't too good because I'd like to get that thing asleep more than anything. The obvious Ice Beam is obvious. He's seen Lucario, but I don't want to put Lucario in here anyway because it'll probably lose because Suicune's an absolute tank. So that's not something I want to do. I will send in the Magneton, which gets frozen, which is really lucky for me. I know it sounds weird saying really lucky that I got frozen, but I unfreeze on the first turn, and he thought he had a lot more time than that, so he went for a setup move. And because I was frozen, it camouflaged the threat, so he thought that he was safe in there, and he left the Suicune in to die. So if nothing happened, if it just wasn't frozen at all, it would have been better for him because he could have got out of there. He didn't see the Thunderbolt coming because he thought I'll stay frozen. So I was kind of lucky that it was there at all. In comes T-Tar. I predicted an Earthquake, but he hits me with a Flamethrower instead, which is okay. Dragonite can take that no problem. I've got my boa, T-Tar's a boa, and it has Flamethrower and sub and stuff. So I was expecting it to do something strange. So I went to the Roost just to see what it does, and it hits me with Ice Beam, and it's faster than me. That's obviously a special sweeper of some sort, because I think Dragonite's base 80 and T-Tar's base 60, I believe. Which is really weird that you'd have a special sweeper T-Tar, because things like Lucario can just come in and do that to it. I mean, even though it's timid, it's not going to be outspeeding much, and that's pretty much why you don't have sweeper sets like that. So in comes the Arcanine again for the Intimidate, which really sucks because if I had a Life Orb instead of a Focus Sash, or if it didn't have Intimidate, a Flash Fire or something, I could have finished it off with the Extreme Speed there, but no dice there. I've got to switch out and hope that this kills it. Unfortunately, the Sandstorm is not going to finish it off, and its leftovers is going to keep it in this, unfortunately. Which sucks. That means that Uno Memento is now going to have to sacrifice itself so that I can come back in on it and finish it off. Kind of sucks I have to use the Memento now, but I don't really have a safe switch in, so he's got to go. And because the Stealth Rock's up, he's not going anywhere, so Lucario is going to come back in and finish off with Extreme Speed. I thought about seeing what I got to set up on something that's mementoed, but the Flare Blitz is going to put a dent in everything I got, so that had to go. So obviously he wants to set out the Metagross, which is Scarfed, so I know it's going to be faster than me, probably anyway. So I go to the one thing he hasn't seen yet, which will avoid the Earthquake. I mean, he took down my other Levitator and Dragonite, so Earthquake was the proper move for him to use there, and it was me just keeping my Aslef hidden there, which kind of caught him out. I completely forgot about the Blissey, unfortunately, so that's a wasted nasty plot, and I will have to get out of there. I'm thinking about that Metagross. I'm thinking, how can I set up Lucario now and outspeed that Metagross and get a Swords Dance? And Spark is the way to do it, because he has a Salic Berry ready for a boost. So I'm sitting about 160 now, and I get the Wish knowing that I'll get it the next turn and I'll survive a Seismic Toss. So I'm waiting to see this Blissey hopefully will attack me on this turn, and I get some Thunderbolt in it now to thinking turns ahead, so that it will try and heal itself later. And it goes for the Seismic Toss, knocks me down to my boost, I get my wish back up to a usable point, and it's looking pretty good for me. Unfortunately, he gets his wish now, I think. Is it now? Sandstorm... No, he doesn't get his wish. He must wish this time. We both wish, which makes him think that I'm going to stall him out or something crazy, which is ridiculous. There's no way I'm going to win that, so that's something I'm not going to be doing. So I batten past my Salic boost and the wish to Lucario. I dodged the Toxic like I planned. I get my wish, which puts me back up to full, and I get my Sash back. So I'm at +1 speed. I've got my Sash. Blissy's in here, so he's going to have to get out of there with a Swords Dance. And we're looking at a pretty fearsome Lucario right now. And away goes a Blissey, in comes Metagross, and I get my Swords Dance. I've killed Metagross with a Swords Dance close combat before, but I know it's really close, so it's kind of dicey whether I do this or not. But I've got my Sash, so I'm not that bothered. And here comes the Earthquake. Unfortunately, I didn't manage to kill it, but I'll be going down to 1. And right now I'm thinking he's got one Pokemon I haven't seen yet. A Lucario with +1 speed, +2 attack, even at 1 HP, is still probably going to kill anything in the game. So I'm thinking, I've won, right? There's nothing he's got that can probably get me, right? Well, it turns out, even though he's got a Sandstorm team, he's got a frickin' Abomasnow. And I saw that and my jaw hit the floor. I couldn't believe that he bought an Abomasnow with frickin' Hail, and it has Protect as well, which I guess that's kind of common on an Abomasnow. But why you'd bring in an he has no ice types other than the Abomasnow. The Hail just completely kills off his whole team. And yeah, sure, he got in a position that it screwed me over there, but I can't see that will be working for him in any other position, to be honest. 12 times scope and face range, anyone? Yeah, so now you see what just happened, and now I've got 3 special sweepers versus a frickin' Bliss. I forgot I had Jolteon lying around. If I remembered that, I probably would have tried and passed a wish to All-Star as I set up here. Fortunately, that's not going to happen, mainly because I forgot that Jolteon's still hanging around. So I've got this little sequence coming up here of me trying to get as many nasty pots as possible while he goes through the phase of Wish Protect. I'm kind of hoping that he'll do the Wish and Protect, and I'll still be alive at the end, and I'll manage to get a boosted nasty plot Psychic off. And it's about this point I realise that there's no way in hell I'm going to survive this Psychic. So I just got to this Poison, so I just got to go for the Psychic, and it doesn't work out because he has Protect obviously, and Hail's knocked me down, and Poison's going to finish me off, and that sucks. And I'm looking at my last Pokemon thinking, oh, it's Magneton. No, I've still got Spark, so I'm like, okay, I'll get the Wish. If he Seismic Tosses me now, then that's awesome, because that means I'll die on this turn, and Wish will go to the one thing that has the best chance against it, which is the Specs Magneton. Even though that I haven't actually hit this thing yet, I look at what this Thunderbolt does, and it barely does anything. So I know this is a special defensive Blissey, just my luck. And that's it. It's game over. All he needs to do is just wish, Seismic Toss, wish, Seismic Toss, and I get my wish. But that's not really going to help. And he's won. But he doesn't want to play it safe. He wants to go with just Seismic Toss and try and race me down, which is dangerous. And I tell him this is dangerous because if I get a crit, like a random crit, I'm going to win. Which is why you should wish and then Seismic Toss and wish and Seismic Toss just to play it safe. And I think that really confused him, because at this point he's like, oh yeah, and he hits Protect, and that I am astounded he did that, because even if he didn't Protect then, I probably wouldn't have killed him, but now I'm definitely going to kill him, so he had no choice but to go for the Protect. And I honestly thought about just running at this point, because obviously that's just a brain lapse on his part, but a win's a win, so there we go.